Wow.
No squeaky cheese in Lambeau.
Impressive win for the Carolina Panthers. What a weekend.
I know.
I mean, seriously. Well, so much goes on during a weekend that rarely, first of all, you'll almost never see me not here on a Monday. Because, honestly, it's the easiest day to do my job.
Yeah.
Like,
we have so much to talk about.
Tons of stuff went on. Of course, I mean, there might be a Monday coming up soon where I won't be here, but that's fine. But on a Monday, it's just, there's chock full of different things to get into. And on top of that, I can't think of a weekend in which all three Triangle Area ACC teams won.
It's rare.
And varying degrees of wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Carolina got their first ACC win, so wow. Very impressive, by the way, Friday night. State did the thing against Georgia Tech. We'll get into that later. And Duke went to Clemson and won.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hell of a weekend for the three locals.
Yes.
On top of that, we got college basketball starting today.
Mm-hmm.
State and Carolina both at home to, not high-level opponents necessarily. High level of interest in State versus Central. We talked to Lavelle Moten last week. Carolina's opening up against Central Arkansas. I don't know if Scottie Pippen has anybody playing in the game. That's where Scottie Pippen went to school. Anyway, and Duke plays tomorrow in Charlotte against Texas. The college basketball season has actually already started. Our friend Jeff Goodman from Field of 68, they are putting on like this mid-major extravaganza. Started with an 8 a.m. game.
Oh,
yeah. All of it is on YouTube if you want to watch it. So there's college basketball going on right now. We had World Series games 6 and 7.
What a game.
Over the weekend. We're going to talk about it. Elliot Johnson's going to I have thoughts. I have serious thoughts.
Oh, serious thoughts.
Yeah. People know what I hate most about one element of baseball. And blank all of you who think I'm wrong, and every single time somebody sacrifices an out, pisses on an out, and like serendipitously a run scores, hits me up on Twitter. Oh my God, see, the sacrifice bunt works. No! Sorry. I'm not gonna get riled up yet.
Save it.
I will. But I will. Because it cost Toronto a chance. Stop doing it. All right.
What a game.
The Friday game 6 was a little tame. Mm-hmm. Dodgers got the one big hit, the home run, and ultimately Toronto was kind of anemic until they had a great chance late and then kind of gave it away. But we'll get to all of these things in due time. Let's begin.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started.
I do have a very good personal story about watching Game 7 on Saturday night and texting with my friend John Manuel in all caps saying, if they don't score here, ... And he just went, I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
So mad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the Panthers. All right, we got to start there. My gosh,
Panthers on another victory Monday.
It is. First of all, I didn't think they would win in Green Bay.
I not.
I think Green Bay's a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
And I didn't think they were going there. Not that they couldn't win, but I didn't think they would. What I didn't think would happen would be Carolina's head coach out-coaching Green Bay's head coach. And this is not necessarily a knock on Dave Canales. except it is. But this is really more about Matt LaFleur, hang your head in freaking shame. First of all, the first brilliant coaching move, and I did not realize this at first, so I'm not going to pretend that I knew this to be the way it would work out.
Picking which way to receive the
yes,
ball. Yes.
Taking the ball and taking the decision to get the ball, knowing where. So
it's windy.
We want the ball. So they would end up with the wind direction that they wanted in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And it did turn out to be important.
Yes.
Okay? But more important than that, and maybe it's not as important than that, but maybe equally, whatever it is, the way they approached the game was brilliant. They knew more possessions, longer game favors the better team.
Yep.
So we are going to suck the soul out of this game. We are going to make it borderline unwatchable, and maybe Green Bay would fall into our trap, and they did. They rode Rico Dowdle. It only took 3 weeks for the head coach to realize that for whatever reason, maybe we'll just go injury. Rico is the guy. Mm-hmm. And don't you know that Chuba Hubbard was like, yeah, whatever's good for the team. So where was that 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago when we all said Chuba Hubbard wasn't here to be the starter in the first place? Mm-hmm. He was drafted in the 4th round. They thought, hey, maybe this guy's good. And he hung around. He had a great year, and they rewarded him. But ultimately, he's just a guy. And Rico had looked, and maybe Rico is in the long term just a guy also.
But he's the guy
right
now.
Now, he's one of the best running backs in football, and you'd have to be, like, fundamentally not very bright, which is a phrase that was used against me once by Bomani Jones. But that's fine. To not want to give him the ball as often as possible. For 2 weeks, they denied the reality. Finally, Dave Canales went, yeah, maybe we should just give the ball to Rico.
Yeah.
Huh, go figure. Over 5 yards a carry, 130 yards on the ground, playing through what looked to be a pretty painful groin injury, and he still got it done. So, there's that. And they were smart enough to allow the Packers to lose. Second time this year. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to do too much. Oh, the other team wants to help us? We'll let the other team help us.
Why not?
That's what happened against Atlanta. The most misleading thing about the Atlanta game. 30-0. Oh my gosh, the Panthers dominated. No, they did not dominate. Atlanta wanted to lose and played like it. They proved how much they wanted to lose. The Panthers just kind of let it happen. Like, you want to give us the game? We'll take it. And that isn't a negative. That is recognizing that the other team is going to make a lot of mistakes, so let them. The defense has gotten better for the Panthers. I think we could all agree on that. But the defense wasn't great in Green Bay. It was situationally good enough. That's really what it was. Green Bay had 7 drives. They averaged 50 yards per drive. You can't tell me that that's good defense. Except when they needed to be more difficult to get through, they were. They put more pressure on the quarterback than they normally do. It didn't hurt that, or hurt, this is a bad pun, but that Tyler Kraft, Green Bay's best receiving target for Jordan Love, looks like he's suffered an ACL tear. I think that was in the first half or maybe early in the third quarter. But so he was gone in the crunchiest of times. But there's still capable wide receivers there. But Green Bay played a very impatient offensive game. They should have I'll run through a bunch of things here. What the Panthers really allowed them to do was screw it up. They played decent red zone defense, and the Packers simply they almost tried to force the issue. Before the touchdown that tied the game in the fourth quarter, 4 red zone trips for Green Bay netted a fumble, a field goal, and a turnover on downs. Why didn't Green Bay on 4th and 8, like from the 10-yard line or whatever it was, why didn't they kick the field goal?
Right.
Right? Oh, because you still need a touchdown. Right. Except that when you score that touchdown, because you're assuming you'll score a touchdown, you're in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, here's the other part. What if the Panthers kick a field goal? Now you're, the 7-point deficit. Now it's 10. Now you need 2.
Yeah.
Ugh. It shouldn't be that hard, but here's Matt LaFleur. I don't know what he's thinking about, but, just take the 3 points. Granted, kicking has not been a strong suit of Green Bay, but it was a chippy field goal. You have to assume you're going to make that. I couldn't understand not kicking the field goal there.
They did not feel confident, I guess. It took only
No. They thought that. Oh no, we need the touchdown. It was macho. It was a macho game for Green Bay, and I just don't understand it. Bryce Young was kind of all over the place. It wasn't a great Bryce Young event. He made some good, daring throws, I thought, but he also made some questionable decisions. Run out of bounds. Just run out of bounds. Because I forget who delivered the hit. I think it was in the first half. Whoever delivered the hit. I mean, I screamed, why are they throwing the flag there? Young was inbounds at the point of contact. He relaxed and slowed down. No, dude. If you're going to do that, just slide. So they can't hit you. But they drilled him into the team. He took another hit a couple of plays later. I thought he had a death wish. The end zone interception wasn't good, obviously, but it looked like it might have been wind impaired. But the long of it, or the short of it, is that the Panthers played a very good game on the road against a Super Bowl contender and allowed them to screw it up. And it speaks to why, if you don't make mistakes, and the Panthers really didn't, except for that interception, which took points off the board. If you don't make mistakes, you have a chance to win any game you play. Because the other team felt the pressure, including the head coach, and they made the mistakes. Let's get to Dave Canales. Let's talk about the coin toss situation. Here's the head coach.
I can give Tracy Smith a little shout out. Our MO is to just kick the ball and start on defense. That's the way we like to play it. But Tracy said if we take the ball, we got a chance to end the game with the wind to our backs. And it played out exactly like he talked about. And so we made that decision, and it worked out for us. Counting on Ryan to make those kicks. The extra point right there. After the penalty, we could have, tried a 2-point conversion from the 17-yard line or something like that. And I just didn't want to feel like we were disorganized. Let's give them a shot. And really, the wind wasn't going for a second. And all of a sudden, it kicks right back in, right around the kick. And so the timing of it. But for him to be able to regroup, refocus, and just go to the next kick was amazing.
So he explained all of it. So after Rico Dowdle, which is hysterical, the celebration, which got them the 15-yard penalty. Can I just, on the record, and people know this already, I think it is fundamentally idiotic that the National Football League flags end zone celebrations.
It's stupid, and it's also selective. They're never consistent on what they consider, egregious.
Well, I think they're too strict in what they do flag. But they shouldn't flag anybody. As long as we are not unduly delaying play, as long as you are not flaunting it in the opposition's face, then I don't care what you do. I don't care. And nobody should either. But this is what we do. And as long as it is flagged, it is beholden on the players to not get flagged. You just got to be better. It's a stupid penalty. But didn't that happen to DJ Moore a few years ago in Atlanta? Right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
It's just dumb. All right, final thing. Here's Dave Canales assessing the win.
I just kept thinking about with the group, every game is a championship opportunity. And especially when you come here to this place with the fans, with an excellent team, it was going to require the best of our football. And yes, there are things that we need to improve upon. We certainly, gave up some opportunities in some spots, but to continue to play football, that's the way it should be done, is you just keep coming out with toughness, keep finding the run game, the balance of the pass, defensively, 1 for 5 in the red zone. Unbelievable. To give us a chance to be in that game and walk off with a kick.
I mean, just an awesome win. And here's what it does. Because the Panthers are hosting the Saints this weekend, they're staring 6-4 in the face.
I know. I hope they don't let this division game bite them, please.
Right.
Not against the Saints.
They're staring 6-4 in the face. And do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No. But here's what I think. I think we are going to get right around Thanksgiving, and the Panthers are going to be on the board as still in the hunt. And I didn't think that would happen at the start of the season.
They're on the board for something other than being bad.
Exactly. Credit to them. Do you think Bill Belichick ho-hummed 27-10 at Syracuse? Because I don't. He might have publicly ho-hummed. I did not hear the postgame, but I watched the game. And it was evident early on, and if you follow me on Twitter, you saw what I put out there. It was probably early second quarter. Neither team's passing game was worth a damn. So the first team that realized throwing the ball down the field is dumb, and we're just going to keep running it or using plays that act as runs. Swing passes to running backs, screens, really, really short stuff. The first team to establish that, and this is what we're going to do, is going to win the game, and that was Carolina. Demon June was dynamite. 15 touches, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. Syracuse couldn't tackle him. Syracuse had 39 yards passing in the game. They used a quarterback that had not really played, and it looked like we figured out the reason why. He was no good. Carolina's defense, which we know has gotten better, continued to get better. They looked very good. The Tar Heels have Stanford this week, at Wake, home against Duke, and at State. I don't even care what they do the rest of the way. They got their win. I think they'll win one of those 3, but it doesn't really matter. The way they're playing, I mean, I'll at least give them a chance against Wake. Apparently, Bill Belichick cares the most about the Duke game. I learned that from the press conference, so maybe they can win that. Who knows? But they are getting better, so credit to the Tar Heels. I said last week, Victoria, you remember this, State beating Georgia Tech would be the most go ACC moment of the season. To be clear, however, it was not meant as a prediction. It was simply meant as a what if. And I got to I can't believe you think State's going to beat Georgia Tech. And I'm like, I didn't say that. I said it would be the biggest go ACC moment of the season. And it really wasn't a prediction because I didn't think State would win the game. I did think it would be close. Credit to the Wolfpack. No Justin Jolie. No holiday smoothie.
Nope.
Right? No problem. Duke Scott nearly went for 2 bills. Here's Dave Doran on his running back.
Well, we don't allow that, first of all. Kids come to this program like they do any program with the hope to have an opportunity to play. And when it's your opportunity, you have to seize it. And Tristan Teasdale, true freshman, starting in his first game against that offense, and really proud of him. I mean, that's asking a lot. And our DBs, man, I mean, we played a lot of man-to-man in that game, and for a lot of reasons. But it says a lot about all these guys. And, it's funny to me that people think we're going to quit and we're going to do this. We don't do that here. It's not a part of this program, and it never will be. And so each kid that gets an opportunity, it's his moment. And it's fun to see him seize those moments in a game like this.
Yeah, Scott, 194 yards rushing. He was great. Teddy Hoffman was back to doing what he did in early part of the season, although I know he's had some good games here recently, but he was dynamite. C.J. Bailey was really good, and I know that, in large part, they didn't ask him to be the star. They just asked him to pretty much orchestrate the whole thing, but he was very good. The defense held. Can you hold somebody to over 500 yards of offense? I mean, Georgia Tech had 550-some-odd yards of offense. But Haynes King didn't. I mean, the running game was not a big factor for Georgia Tech. And that's generally what they do. 150, just over 150 yards. But it was all Haynes King. And 150 or so yards was the second lowest rushing total of the season for Georgia Tech. Wolfpack are idle this week. Then they're at Miami, home against Florida State and UNC. And who knows? Maybe they win 7 games. Hey, the way Miami's playing, maybe they win 8. and finish 8-4 like we expected at the beginning of the season. All right. Very quickly, we're just going to mention this. I said on Friday, if Duke does not turn the ball over, they would win at Clemson. And they had no turnovers, and they won. I did not expect 91 points. I did not expect 1,000 yards of combined offense. That's what we got. Credit to Manny Diaz for going for 2. Very gutsy. It would have been easy to just kick the extra point and take your chances in overtime. But I think the proper decision was made. I've got one play against a defense that is reeling. Let's get it. And they did. Good for them. By the way, Dabo Swinney, who complained in the postgame about the defensive pass interference call, and he got fined for it, by the way. Clemson I think Dabo just got fined. Actually, no, there was an institutional fine. So Clemson also got fined, and Dabo Swinney got fined, or maybe it was just the school. Dabo was both right and wrong. It wasn't defensive pass interference. It was, from the beginning of the play, defensive holding. So there was a penalty. It still would have given Duke a first down, but it would not have given Duke a first down at the 3-yard line. And that's where the ball was placed. All right, we got a break. When we come back, Will Brinson on the Panthers win. The Bills win over the Chiefs. Oh, my gosh. The Steelers beating the Colts, as I said, would happen for no reason. I gave you no reason. I just said because. And that was enough. Will Brinson next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
He scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Pack Therapy is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan, alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcast, and watch every episode on YouTube.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
I'm a wife and the mother of 2 kids. And when I get to work in the precinct house and put on my uniform, I can tell you, as a police officer, we're building partnerships. This should be happening everywhere, so the police should be reaching out to this community. And this community should reach out to the police. That's the way to make this a safer place.
Start the conversation and help stop crime. To learn the 5 things you can do, go to ncpc.org/prevent violent crime. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Raleigh Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Is he married to a person or just himself? Because I feel like that's very Aaron Rodgery of him to have the twist in there.
It's a very good question.
Oh, I don't know. We still don't know if it's a person.
Would he get down on one knee to ask himself over an ayahuasca?
Yes.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Panthers back over 500. They're 5-4.
Still got the streak going.
With the Saints coming in. Oh, my gosh. Let's get right to it. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. He sorts the Sunday pile. Sir, how did that happen? Was that a situation of, sucking the life out of a game just lulls your opponent to sleep? Because I thought that was the game plan for Dave Canales, just to shorten the game and make it as dull as humanly possible.
Yeah. But by the way, before we get to Panthers, quick shout out. I got my Why Not Us cup here. The 2024 ACC champion, NC State Wolfpack. They tip off tonight. Shout out to Will Wade.
They should be able to handle
the excitement surrounding this basketball team. But almost as exciting as the Carolina Panthers. Man, you watching that game? And,
I did.
I watched it, but it wasn't an enjoyable game. It was entertaining in the sense of the Panthers pulled off easily. Probably the biggest upset of the season, or one of the 2 or 3 biggest upsets of the season. The other probably being the Packers losing to the Browns. Rico Dowdle was awesome. I think Dave Canales made a mistake the last couple of weeks trying to do the 2-back system. Like Rico Dowdle is running wild every week. Just ride him. And if he cools down, then you blend Chuba Hubbard in, as necessary. I think they did a better job getting back to Rico Dowdle. They didn't really hold Josh Jacobs down a ton, but Jordan Love was pretty bad. And generally, like the Packers just didn't for the second time this year against a wildly inferior opponent. The Packers didn't look like they were enthusiastic about playing that football game, and they just look slow. I don't think they're a very trustworthy team, and this is exactly the type of game Carolina wanted to have against Green Bay. Like Packers start slow on offense, run the ball effectively, keep it low scoring, hang around and get weird and make a long field goal at the end to steal the game. I mean, that's kind of the recipe for Carolina going into Green Bay against this Packers team.
Here's what I was thinking about as I'm watching this game. And maybe it's because I'm old, but I remember when the Giants played the Bills in the Super Bowl, it was the first Bills Super Bowl in that 4-year run, and they played the Giants, and it was the wrong team for the Buffalo to play because all the Giants wanted to do in that game was to slow it down, run the ball, slow it down, and frustrate Buffalo.
And let Chapel Hill's own Bill Belichick coordinate the defense.
Right. That is right. And before we get out of here, I'll just make this quick comment. Ejiro Evero's rallying of his coaching career based on turning this defense, which honestly ain't dramatically better in terms of personnel than last year's defense, except for Derek Brown being healthy.
The defense played really well yesterday.
Green Bay averaged 50 yards a drive, so it wasn't. They played well when they had to play well.
Yeah, they kept him out of the they kept him out of the end zone. I mean, that's that matters. Look, I think Carolina, they're probably. I mean, they're probably not a playoff team, but they're like not that far out of it.
Right, but that's the thing is that like the NFL will fool you. I mean, because of schedules and whatnot, the NFL will fool you. And they beat the Saints on Sunday. They're 6-4.
Yeah.
With another game against the Saints and another game against the Falcons, albeit in Atlanta, but so what? Falcons could beat themselves. They've already proven that.
Sure.
So, it's not out of it. They're not out of it. They could still win 9, maybe even 10 games. I don't think they're getting to your 11 that you predicted at the beginning of the season.
I said the high upside was 11. Hey, by the way, but I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm right by any stretch of the imagination, because 2 weeks in, I was like, I'm so wrong. It's not funny.
Right.
4 weeks in, I was like, this team stinks.
Yeah.
But the thing about the NFL is if everything breaks your way, and we're talking about like going to Green Bay and stealing a game, you hold on to beat the Jets, you beat the Cowboys at home. They have on their schedule, 3 tough games against the NFC West.
Yes.
Right. If they win one of those, I think that's good work. But the divisional games that are remaining, they're not going to be touchdown dogs to any of, like, even on the road at Atlanta or at Tampa Bay. I don't think they'd be touchdown dogs. And Tampa could have clinched a division and be locked into a seed and rest players in week 18 at Tampa Bay. So, like, yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to win all those divisional games. You got to steal one of the NFC West games and then, go 3-2 in your remaining divisional games. And that gets you to 4-3, and then all of a sudden you're 9-7, and like hanging around the wild card picture and just hope things go your way.
You'd need a lot to go your way, and you need to win basically every available potential win. But I didn't think Green Bay was a potential win either. So here's what I think happened to Green Bay, and it happens in all sports, is that you get anxious. You're better, and I think this is what happened to Green Bay. You're better, and you want to prove that you're better, but you're not willing to take the little bits that are given to you. And I thought Green Bay got obviously their trips to the red zone, their first 3 netted them a fumble. That's unfortunate. happens, and then 2 field goals after that. And then the last time they got into the red zone, they did miss a field goal, but they didn't get in the red zone there. Then the last time they got in the red zone was early in the fourth quarter. And for the life of me on 4th and 8, I don't know why they just didn't take the 3 points. You got an entire quarter of football left. You're going to get at least 1, probably 2 more possessions. And
No, I was going to say, if you have 369 yards to 265, 5.9 yards per play to 4.9 yards per play, you should probably win that game like, I don't know, 65, 70% of the time. The glaring thing, and you just said it, 1 of 5 in the red zone. Yeah. If you go 1 of 5 in the red zone, you're not going to win. Not going to win. You know, it's just hard to win because you won't score many points. Panthers, by the way, 5.5 point favorites. Against, the Saints on Sunday.
Did you think that we would get to week 10 of the NFL, Will, and it's possible that the Panthers would be a survivor pool selection?
No, which is crazy. By the way, I will be interested. I don't know if you watched any. You probably didn't watch much of it because it was on at the same time as the Bills and Chiefs game, but the Saints and Rams game. We had the Rams in Survivor.
Yeah.
Shout out to Esprit de Corps. But the
that was the Hobag pick. Was the Rams?
Yeah. The Saints. Kellen Moore has, and we were talking about the Jets. It's like just run read option. Kellen Moore's doing that thing that we talked about with the Jets the last 5 weeks. He's putting Taysom Hill out there. He's running junk offense. Yeah. So Panthers, be wary on Sunday. Panthers fans, be wary on Sunday. You're going to see some junk offense from the Saints. You're going to put out Taysom Hill. They're going to put like Devin Neal in the backfield. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly.
All right.
Panthers just need to be efficient on offense and win the game.
Let me get to a few more things around the league. First, before we get to Bills-Chiefs, because there's really not much to say about what happened in Washington other than why was Jaden Daniels in the game late? I mean, that game was over, and Jaden Daniels now has a dislocated elbow, and we're not going to see him again this year. A complete washout of a season after the euphoria of that team making it to the NFC Championship game.
And worth noting that they are significantly, by like a decent margin. I think Chris Collinsworth referenced it last night. It's like, or Mike Tirico did, maybe it's like 9 year. It's almost like a full year older than the next oldest team in football. So I talked about this with Bill Barnwell on his podcast last week, but like when you have a young quarterback, a superstar rookie quarterback or a superstar quarterback on that rookie deal, you know, I understand the idea of like shoving in and going for broke after you make the NFC Championship game. But you know, you have like Zach Ertz, who's old. You trade for Deebo Samuel. You trade for Marshawn Lattimore, who now, by the way, is also out for the season. When you are already an old roster and you trade for old vets and you don't have draft picks and everybody gets hurt, the Commanders, as exciting as they were in 2024, are now in a position where you have to ask a lot of questions about 2026 and what they're going to have around Jaden Daniels.
Who are their wide receivers going to be?
I mean, Terry McLaurin's 30 and just got a brand new contract. Deebo's a free agent, I believe, and probably headed out the door. It's kind of depressing if you're a Commies fan, because as good as they were last year, this season is a reality check, and the future may be just as harsh.
No doubt about it. All right, now to the Chiefs and the Bills. I'm just going to start this by telling you why I am more disappointed in Buffalo, or rather more bearish on Buffalo's chances in the postseason, because it is clear that Sean McDermott cannot think clearly when it matters. Why are you trying that field goal with, 29 seconds left? When if you miss it, you are putting the Chiefs almost at midfield rather than pooch punt it. Just even if the punt stops at the 20, hell, you can punt it into the end zone. Just kick it as high in the air as possible. Just don't give them the ball at the 38 or whatever they gave them the ball. That was like, I didn't understand that. And it almost cost them because Mahomes completed the first pass, and you could envision that happening again. But ultimately, their defense was good. But I still can't trust Sean McDermott.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you can go both ways on this. You know, they got the first down on 3rd and 3 with like 2:39 left. KC called their final timeout. At that point, you're trying to bleed out the clock, and if you make a field goal, the game is
right
for all intents and purposes over. I would just argue that like you've lost to this team with 13 seconds left and a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
You have been thwarted by the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the biggest wizard in the NFL when it comes to pulling off these sort of wins. And they had a look like at the end to tie the game. Maybe, yeah, 2 of them. Yeah, and one was a little short, but I mean, like a good look on the first one.
Yeah,
maybe Andy Reid even goes for 2. Who knows? I doubt it. But I would even argue that on those 3 plays where you're burning the clock, and yes, you get it from 2:30 down to 27 seconds. I don't know, man. Like have Josh Allen run out to the right, run some short routes that are easy completions that pick up a little more yardage. And if they aren't open, just have Josh Allen run forward and get the same distance that James Cook got. I understand you're running out the clock and you're doing the smart thing, but like, don't leave it to chance that don't leave it on your kicker's foot that Patrick Mahomes from 52 yards that Patrick Mahomes might get the ball back.
No, that's the other part about that, right? They just vanilla James Cook up the middle, and James Cook was great, but the Chiefs were not allowing that to happen. The Chiefs defense is still excellent.
They were playing for a long field goal.
Right.
And like, if it's me, I'm trying to pick up a first down and take knees and get at and not even give Mahomes the ball back.
Well, too many times we forget the number one way to run the clock is just to pick up a first down. It doesn't really matter. The Chiefs were already out of timeout, so I get it. But it doesn't really matter. At this point, anyway, I don't trust Sean McDermott, and that was the larger point. Here's another question: the Broncos can't not win now. They're this year's version of the Chiefs, right? They win 18-15. But here's my question for D'Amico Ryans: you've got Davis Mills in at quarterback because C.J. Stroud took a vicious shot. Why wasn't that penalized? I'm absolutely curious. It was, and everybody seemed to think that was fine. Why is Davis Mills throwing the ball late when A, he's Davis Mills? Your offense isn't good to begin with. The only reason you're still viable is because your defense is great, but you've just given the ball to Denver with a short field, knowing they only need a field goal to beat you, and that's exactly what happened. That's malpractice.
Davis Mills sounds like somebody who's a senior at Broughton right now, right? Like, I mean,
yes, he's in Key Club. Davis Mills.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, this is the Texans. Well, I mean, we'll see what the spread. I think they're -2.5, and it depends on whether C.J. Stroud plays. Whether the Jaguars, I would think the Jaguars would be favored with Davis Mills under center, but. Like, this is just who the Texans are, and they sort of built it like this. This game was never going to be high scoring.
No.
And you have to, I thought the Texans did a good enough job, but like the credit to Bo Nix and Sean Payton's play calling, like that the wheel route to RJ Harvey at the end of the game there was superb. And Bo Nix has been clutch as all get out this year. Denver's just got to figure out a way to start hotter earlier because they keep putting themselves in this position where they're trailing and have to pull off miracles. I do think it can steal your resolve for the postseason a bit. But you get up against Buffalo or KC in the postseason, and they're not going to let you storm through that back door and find a way to win.
All right, final thing. We all saw the Steelers win over the Colts coming, right? Colts were just laying waste to everybody. The Steelers were pretty mid. Defense isn't very good. 400 takeaways later, Steelers have maybe it's more egregious that the Steelers only won by 7, considering how many times Indianapolis turned the ball over. But to me, that was a season-saving win for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think the line kind of stunk. It was like Colts -3, and in the Circa Millions contest, it's the highest picked game of the year. Like more than 2,000 people out of the how many 5,000 people selected the Colts. My buddy Travis Evans had a good line because there was some of the guys from ATW from Raleigh were up in Pittsburgh for the Steelers game after NC State played Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, and he's like, I cannot believe that the Steelers team I watched, or no, actually, he was talking about, he's like, I can't believe the Packers team I watched lost to the Panthers.
Right.
And then also the Steelers team that you watch against the Packers loses or beats the Colts. That's the NFL for you.
Yep.
For me, the takeaway on this one is Steelers defense rallied after playing very poorly. Classic Mike Tomlin win. But maybe more importantly, Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones, who has played really good football in Indianapolis for the Colts all year long. There's still that Danny Dimes turnover machine that lurks there. And, when the Colts aren't, front running and aren't playing preventing turnovers on offense, and it's a no bleep Sherlock, right? Like a lot of teams are going to be bad when they're not front running and not turning the ball or turning the ball over. But particularly for this Colts team, I think that's what we haven't seen early on in the season, and we saw it on Sunday, and that's sort of the red flag for crowning the Colts is one of the top teams.
Jonathan Taylor only had 45 yards rushing. That's
by the way, Jonathan Taylor. If you placed a bet on Jonathan Taylor MVP, one, you're an idiot, and two, it doesn't matter because Matthew Stafford's winning the award.
You may be right. Matthew Stafford is still that guy, and I mean. Is it possible to be in Los Angeles and be under the radar? Because that's what Matthew Stafford is. He is absolutely under the radar.
Rams might be the best team in football.
They are awesome. They are very, very complete, and I've always loved Sean McVay. He is right. He's just a notch below Will Brinson. Senior NFL writer, CBSSports.com. Good luck to your Wolfpack today. I'll talk to you next week, my man.
All right, go Pack. See you, man.
Got it. Will Brinson here on the Adam Gold Show. We'll break. We come back. We got one-timers next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, home for all of your favorite things to do, especially when it comes to the NFL. And tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% profit boost token so you can boost your take on the Cowboys and the Cardinals. And frankly, you can't go wrong either way. Or maybe you can't go right either way. Who knows? It's the same. Make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. All customers. 30% profit boost token this Monday night. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
We had to exit the home pretty quickly because of how quickly the water came in. It was just really vital to me whenever all the public service announcements were going out, that we needed to get our water tested.
We need to, get in the field and start helping people disinfect their water supplies.
It's really critical to their health to be able to have that safe drinking water.
They were reaching out to me to make sure that I knew that there were resources available.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
Are you looking for a 2-year hands-on agricultural degree while still gaining the university experience? I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. We offer 6 associate's degrees that span the agricultural industry and set our students up to meet their goals. Come live on campus, learn on our farms, and be a part of the NC State community. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you a veteran looking to make a career change? The Department of Labor is offering no-cost employment workshops to help you. Visit DOL.gov, paid for by U.S. Department of Labor.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just move this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Duke women's starting play today. They're in France. And the Blue Devils lead 33-29 in late second quarter. They lead by 4 late second quarter over Baylor. 7th-ranked Duke, 16th-ranked Baylor. There you go. College basketball starts tonight. State at home to Central. Carolina at home to Central Arkansas. And the Blue Devils will start the season tomorrow against Texas in Charlotte. One-timers.
Okay, so you can add us on Twitter or add me on Twitter or YouTube stream. You can leave them there, and that is where we will kick things off. From William, any news on how long the Canes players that are hurt will be out? Need them badly.
We do, actually, need them badly. No, but I think Rod Brindamore is optimistic that both Keandre Miller and Jacob Slavin won't be too much longer. Shane Gostisbehere came back and then got injured again. Different injury, so it's not an aggravation, which, in my opinion, is actually worse because it's a different injury. Although in the long run, once that injury heals, it will give the other stuff a chance to heal. So maybe when he comes back, he'll be really good to go. But I think Carolina's offensive woes, if we could even consider a team that is right now 3rd in the NHL in goals per game, has offensive woes. I think the way they're playing is definitely hampered by the fact that there is no Slavin, no Miller, no Gostisbehere.
Next up from Homebred is Nikishin going to be a first or second pair D after Slavin, Ghost, and Miller return?
No, but that doesn't mean that he won't be very, very featured. But he's going to play. I assume that when everybody's healthy, there'll be Slavin, Walker, Chatfield, Miller, Nikishin, Gostisbehere. I think it works out best that way. But what it will allow Rod Brindamore to do is really balance the time on ice for his entire blue line.
Next up from H. Sadler. So are the Carolina Panthers officially in the early stage of, quote, middle of the pack, end quote, rebuild zone?
Actually, it's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, I think that's where they are. I think they're at the back end of that, but they're also 5-4, staring at a win against the Saints. But again, remember, the Packers lost at home to the Panthers, so the Panthers could lose at home to the Saints if they're not careful. But yes, that's where I think they are. I think they're looking at a middle of the pack where they could finish, I don't know, let's just say 8-9, and you pick 14th in the draft as opposed to picking 5th in the draft, which you could certainly be mad at that if you want, because you could get a better player at 5 than you can at 14. This just in. Anyway, when we come back, we'll start it over. We'll talk about the Panthers, but also all 3 local ACC schools won on the same day. Yeah.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
For the Panthers, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. If it's Andy Dalton, if it's Bryce Young, if it's hurt Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, whoever it is, it comes down to one thing. The team isn't good enough to overcome turnovers. Protect the football. Whether your ankle's hurt or not, don't turn it over and let the defense and running game do the rest.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey, but when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man. Now I want wings.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It was a normal day.
He was in some minor accident, a fender bender.
And I had this impulse to call him, but I didn't because I thought I could call him later that week.
He abandoned the car, he came home, and he shot himself without ever talking to anyone.
When I came home that night and I found her, they told me that she had shot herself, and I couldn't believe it.
I asked if he was okay.
Shooting is unfortunately effective. There are not a lot of second chances.
Once you pull that trigger, that's it. There is no coming back.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Snap back to Haynes King. He has 408 pass yards now. Roll out right. Fires end zone. Intercepted. Ball game. Fans rush the field. Zeros on the clock. NC State's a winner and knocks off undefeated top 10 Georgia Tech. 48-36 the final. Wolfpack winner tonight in Raleigh. Fireworks fly. A revenge game from 23 years ago. And the Pack wins 48-36 over the Yellow Jackets.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Welcome to the program. You can go to YouTube, youtube.com, as if you need to type in youtube.com.
Make
Just
sure you
type
put
in YouTube.
www too.
HTTP : never mind. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, or just download the handy dandy 99.9 The Fan app, and then you can just push the button, and then you just watch us. You can see me in all my plaid today. That was NC State beating Georgia Tech, and Matt Kazanow, the play-by-play guy, referring to, I believe, a game I was at. Hadn't even processed that. I believe the Wolfpack were off to a pretty good start that year. Remember, because I'm old. And then the Yellow Jackets came in and surprised them at Carter Finley Stadium. Anyway, same setting, different surprise. Although, we knew all along that the Wolfpack had a very good offense. We did. I asked the question back like in week 4. Was Dave Doran comfortable winning Big 12-style games?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't win a lot of them, unfortunately. Offense wasn't as consistent. Defense has been very consistent, not in a good way. They have not been able to cover in the secondary at all. Maybe that's why Georgia Tech threw for over 400 yards. But they haven't been easy to run against. And Georgia Tech had a harder time running against State than they have against almost anybody else. And it's a good way to start a very good weekend of football in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's our second look. Tar Heels also win. They won Friday. Their first. You never forget your first. I wonder if Bill Belichick celebrated this type of a win.
I don't know what he celebrates much
Maybe
of.
he took Jordan for ice cream afterwards. Like that after Little League games, after big Little League wins.
Yep.
Isn't that what we did?
Go get ice cream.
We went and got ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sure.
That's probably what they did.
2 scoops for Jordan?
Maybe the swirl, the vanilla chocolate swirl.
How do you feel about soft ice cream versus like...
I like all kinds.
I'm not a soft ice cream person.
I like all. Well, see, that's the thing that the Dairy Queen was like the closest because McDonald's never has ice cream.
Right,
so.
their thing's always broken.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it.
So I kind of had to grow up with Dairy Queen, which I don't hate. It's fine.
No, it's okay, but
now
man.
I live close to a hard pack Hershey place, and can't beat that.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up other than I was just talking about, I made a bad joke about, Bill Belichick taking his girlfriend out for ice cream after the game. Look,
ice cream's fun.
That's a good win. We've been talking about UNC for weeks, that they're getting better. You can see them getting better defensively more than offensively. And they made the decision, I thought, early in the game to just go, you know what? We can't throw it down the field, but they can't stop Demon June. So we're just going to put the ball in his hands, and almost 200 yards later, they had a 27-10 win. So credit to the Tar Heels for getting that done. Speaking of which, we're going to talk to Bryn Renner in 15 minutes. I know he feels a lot better about things now because we can see some improvement. So credit to them. State gets a good win. I want to get back to them real quick. They go into the game. You're playing against an undefeated opponent that has figured out ways to win. And State has figured out ways to not win since the first 3 games of the season. And you're without Justin Jolie, future NFL tight end. You're without Holiday Smoothie, I joke, Hollywood Smothers, probably a future NFL running back. And you still put up more than 500 yards of offense on Georgia Tech. Here's Dave Doran on the personnel issues.
Well, we don't allow that, first of all. Kids come to this program like they do any program with the hope to have an opportunity to play. And when it's your opportunity, you have to seize it. And Tristan Teasdale, true freshman, starting in his first game against that offense, and really proud of him. I mean, that's asking a lot. And our DBs, man, I mean, we played a lot of man-to-man in that game, and for a lot of reasons, but it says a lot about all these guys. And, it's funny to me that people think we're going to quit and we're going to do this. We don't do that here. It's not a part of this program, and it never will be. And so each kid that gets an opportunity, it's his moment. And it's fun to see him seize those moments in a game like this.
Yeah, Duke Scott playing in place of Hollywood Smothers went for nearly 200 yards rushing. Teddy Hoffman played well. C.J. Bailey was excellent. I don't know, maybe because they didn't try to let him do everything, like they let him rely on his teammates, and that's good. I think the world of C.J., and I think he's going to be dynamite. Good for NC State. That's a great win. And they at a great time, too. Really is. So good for them. Defense held, air quotes, Haynes King to just about 500 yards of offense. Amazing. Pack are idle this week. They're at Miami next week. They're home against Florida State and Carolina to close out the season. I said Friday, Duke doesn't turn the ball over, they would win at Clemson. That is exactly what they did. Of course, I did not expect 91 points and 1,000 yards combined of offense. I didn't expect that. Credit to Manny Diaz for the decision to try and win it right at the end without going into overtime. He could have sent Polino on to kick the extra point, tie the game at 45, and take your chances in overtime. But it's a coin flip. But honestly, the way Duke moved the ball down the field, 11-play, 94-yard touchdown drive to take the lead with 40 seconds to go. The way Clemson was getting worked there, maybe it was better than 50-50, and maybe that's what entered into Manny Diaz's thoughts and going for 2.
Yeah, it was a little more time than I wanted, but we felt really good about the 2-point play. And obviously they had been so hot on offense. Do you want to go into overtime here on the road at Death Valley? So we just, if we wouldn't have felt so good about the 2-point play, we probably would have kicked it, but we just felt we had a great chance on it, and it came off just the way we thought.
They did make it look easy. Higgins was wide open and just pranced into the end zone. Duke is very much alive. I think Tim Donnelly, who occasionally will pop into this show, and has actually occasionally hosted the show, said to the group today that Duke is a co-betting favorite right now to win the ACC or to make the ACC championship game. Look, if they win out, and by the way, their game at UConn this week is not going to be easy. Huskies are playing good football. Virginia at Wallace Wade, at Carolina, and then Wake at Wallace Wade. If Duke wins at least the 3 ACC games, 7-1, they have a good chance of being in that game. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to happen, and there's tiebreakers involved, and we don't know who's going to be involved in the tiebreaker, but it's there for them. And frankly, I mean, they could have won the Georgia Tech game, could have won the Illinois game. I mean, this is a team that at times is their own worst enemy. But boy, they are talented and fun to watch. By the way, real quick about the rest of the ACC before we get to the Panthers for a few minutes. Miami Yes, of course. We all saw that coming. Man. Mario Cristobal. SMU's one-game ACC losing streak was brief. Louisville and Pitt won, I believe. The most ACC thing ever is that in Week 11, with the salivating matchup on paper, preseason, of Clemson at Florida State. Oh, man, that's going to be great. Especially after we saw in the afternoon of the opener when Florida State beat Alabama like they did. Whoo, boy. Florida State, Clemson, that's going to be great. Except that 0 of these teams are over 500. That's right. Clemson's 4-4. Florida State's sub 500. And it was relegated to the ACC network. That's right. Wake at Virginia and Cal at Louisville both got ESPN treatment. Clemson, Florida State's going on ACC network. That is just unbelievable. Anyway, let's get to the Panthers win, because I thought that this was a case of Dave Canales out-coaching Matt LaFleur. And Matt LaFleur is an outstanding coach. And before we go too far and anoint Dave Canales, I really thought, and now, first of all, he did a brilliant coaching job. This is not shade on Dave Canales. I thought Matt LaFleur completely botched the game in several ways. Maybe the mindset going in, maybe he thought it would be easier. His team did not play with a great sense of urgency. His team played like, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. We're going to wait. We might not win the game. And then I thought LaFleur, when he had an opportunity to kind of be calm and look at it and say, all right, we're still okay. Let's just take this field goal here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, make it a 4-point game, and then when we score a touchdown, and they did score a touchdown, now we have the lead. Wouldn't that be grand? So that Ryan Fitzgerald field goal at the end would have been a tying field goal. Before we go too far, I don't generally play the everything that happened would have happened anyway, so we have no idea how the game would have played out. But taking the 3 points early in the third quarter, that was the smart play, and it showed a level of panic that Matt LaFleur should not have shown. They should, honestly, to me, this was an own goal for Green Bay. But credit to the Panthers, who played a good enough game. They played a clean game. Notice there weren't a ton of penalties.
I know, which is
right?
weird.
Not a ton of penalties.
Except we did start with the first drive being a false start.
Right. Well, I just want to make sure everybody knows you're watching a Panthers game. So, but it starts off, I mean, you play good red zone defense to limit the damage. You didn't stop any drives. I mean, Green Bay averaged 50 yards a drive. But you played good red zone defense. You got a little lucky with a missed field goal. Jordan Love didn't have his fastball on the day anyway, whether it's his physical fastball or his mental fastball. He was not locked in. Certainly the head coach for Green Bay wasn't either. And finally, Dave Canales went, this Rico Dowdle guy, I mean, we're just going to give him the ball. And don't you know, Chuba Hubbard was like, yeah, whatever the team needs.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
We could have done this 2 weeks ago against the Jets and been done with it. Anyway, here's Canales on the win.
I just kept thinking about with the group, every game is a championship opportunity. And especially when you come here to this place with the fans, with an excellent team, it was going to require the best of our football. And yes, there are things that we need to improve upon. We certainly, gave up some opportunities in some spots, but to continue to play football, that's the way it should be done, is you just keep coming out with toughness, keep finding the run game, the balance of the pass, defensively, 1 for 5 in the red zone, unbelievable, to give us a chance to be in that game and walk off with a kick.
Yep, they did. Ryan Fitzgerald kicking the game-winning field goal with the wind because of the decision that Dave Canales made, and he credited one of his assistants to take the ball and choose which end, right? Choose which end to go in the fourth quarter. All right, now, real quick, Rico Dowdle scored a touchdown to make it 13-6 early, and he got whistled for excessive celebration in the end zone, and they did that Key and Peele skit which is hysterical.
Have you seen they've updated it?
The skit?
Yeah. He came on to Twitter, and I retweeted it, but he's like, "Come on, Rico, we got to redo the skit now."
All right, so here's Rico Dowdle explaining what he thought he was going to get away with.
Celebration, you're supposed to get 2 pumps, right?
Yeah, that's from my understanding. From my understanding and everything I've learned, we go over stuff like this every week in the meeting room. I definitely think you're supposed to get 2 pumps. Hopefully, I don't get a fine.
I'm hoping that doesn't come up in meetings.
Yeah, seriously. I have this 14-second clip of his response if you want it.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, I do. I want to hear everything about this.
Here we go.
Rico, man, you got robbed. You only did 2 pumps. I'm sorry, man. Now we're going to have to write a new sketch.
And then he walks off. I love it. So great.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. All right. See, the referee was not, peering down, waiting for the second pump.
Exactly.
Too much. All right, when we come back, Bryn Renner will join us. The Tar Heels are on the ACC scoreboard. Finally, next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
For the Panthers, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. If it's Andy Dalton, if it's Bryce Young, if it's hurt Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, whoever it is, it comes down to one thing. The team isn't good enough to overcome turnovers. Protect the football. Whether your ankle's hurt or not, don't turn it over and let the defense and running game do the rest.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Monday Night Football in full effect tonight with the Cardinals in Dallas against the Cowboys. By the way, Kyler Murray has never lost at Jerry World, ever. Going back to his high school days in Texas, he has played plenty of games there, has never lost. How about anytime touchdown scorer? Maybe it's CeeDee Lamb. Of course he's going to score. Trey McBride for the Cardinals, he's going to score. Anyway, FanDuel offering all customers a 30% profit boost token on tonight's game. So have a little fun. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, you know? Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out the Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
I noticed that my central vision started to blur.
Figures that are usually straight started to distort to become wavy.
What are these little dark spots with blurring that I'm seeing?
There's a blind spot like a blob over my vision now.
Is my vision lost forever? Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist in a timely manner have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Don't delay seeing a retina specialist. It's worth the visit to save your vision so you don't miss out on life's precious moments, like seeing your grandchild grow up, enjoying a sunset with that special someone, or reading a good book. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Will you make the right call? Time's running out, pressure's on, and you need your roof replaced. Hi, I'm Holly from RoofWorks. It's 4th and goal, and the decision's in your hands. The competition can't stop you. You're about to score the game winner. We've trained for years for this moment to raise the roof for you. So avoid the noise and put us in the game. Call RoofWorks today or visit us online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
This is Adam Gold.
Soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
I had to play this with the Key and Peele thing.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. There's an interesting return. They're talking about Bill Belichick. That was from the beginning of the season, or before the beginning of the season, when it was gossip. Then the season looked like it had bottomed out.
Mm-hmm.
They can't beat anybody, can't stop anybody, and all hope was lost. And then we had the press conference. Remember the press conference where Bill said, we're getting better.
100%.
Right? We're getting better. And I asked, all we see, because we're not smart, all we see is the final score of what happened against Clemson. So give us more. Explain to us. But he's not going to do that. That's just not who he is. But then they went to Cal, and they did look better. Didn't win, right? And then you come home to Virginia, and they looked better again, just didn't win. But you could see it at least getting closer. I wonder if Bryn Renner from the Tar Heel Sports Network, radio analyst, former Tar Heel legend, actually, you can't be a former legend. You're a legend. And he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Could you feel it coming?
Good to be with you. I saw the progress the second half of Cal, and I think carrying that into UVA, there was more promise, and then seeing it live in person Friday night at Syracuse, it was the culmination of 3 weeks of really good hard work by the kids and the coaches, and you felt a sort of a relief after the game once they won, Adam, where that was 3 really good weeks of football that they played, and the reward was beating Syracuse. So to say I saw it coming, no, I think it would be more of the consistency that they have been doing in practice and the type of progress that Coach Belichick has said he's seen. It kind of came to fruition on Friday. And then, but you still got to fill up the tank and do it again the next week. So I'm really proud of this team. I think they're I'm happy they got a win. For sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And we'll get into the psychology of all of that, because I did think that the one area of improvement I thought we saw was defensively at Cal. Mm-hmm. I thought that was obvious, that their defense was getting better, and the defense got better. I mean, I think Virginia's got a great offense, and Carolina's defense, they look difficult to run on. They were starting to put more pressure on the quarterback. I thought they were getting the most out of their best players. And I thought we finally saw some improvement on the offensive side of the ball at Syracuse, including the recognition that, maybe the forward pass isn't our thing right now, and let's just hand the ball to Demon June all day, even though he only had 13 carries, but he got the ball 15 times. I thought concentrating on that was important. Yeah, Adam, you hit on everything. I think one thing that I want to point out is this defense is playing phenomenal football. They are carrying this team and have been the last 3 weeks. And Adam, I think this is just such an interesting way to see college football being played right now because it's the Belichick way, I feel like. Play really, really good defense, play man-to-man, challenge your quarterback to be accurate for 4 quarters, and don't make mistakes on offense, and don't turn the ball over, and you'll win. And I think that's the formula that we have to kind of, as fans, and myself included, have to get through our heads. Like, this is a defensive-minded coach. Defense is going to be really good. They're going to sack the quarterback, and the offense just doesn't have to make mistakes, and you can win a ball game, 27-10, right? Like, you can win holding Virginia, a top 15 team, to 10 points, which was incredible. They're averaging 30, and you're holding to 10 points and still have a chance to win. So I have to flip my mind around. I think a lot of our fans do, too, of this is a defensive-first football team. Now, Gio Lopez is getting better. He was 15 of 19 for 216, but, he didn't have any mistakes. So you came out on the winning end of it. So I think if we all just flip our mindset that this is going to be a really good defensive team, and not make mistakes at the quarterback position and don't turn the ball over, then we have a chance to win. So, but this defense, and there's a stat that Jones Angel, I'll give him credit for, first time since 1997 we held an opponent under 200 yards, and that was a pretty good defense in 97.
Yes, it was. That was a completely different, man. It's almost 30 years ago, and I can't believe I watched that team play. Bryn Renner is joining us here on the Adam Gold. You were like, what, 3?
7.
7.
Hey, I was old. 7's old, I guess.
Well, hey, look, you remember it, and that's really all that matters. Bryn Renner is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Now take me into the mind of the player. You get you're getting beaten down through however many weeks. The noise, because your head coach is one of the most visible, not just head coaches, one of the most visible humans in sports anywhere. Because of that, there's so much attention being paid, so much noise, extra people are showing up to press conferences. So put yourself in that locker room and how they came out of this.
Yeah, I think it's just been a ton of noise and distractions. And honestly, for a kid trying to focus on football and only football, it takes a toll on you. But I also see this point of it, Adam, because we went through it somewhat in 2011 when Coach Davis got fired and Everett came in, and then Larry got hired. It was just the NCAA clutter, and that was my first year starting. So all I focused on was football. And I think this team has taken on that mantra of, hey, you know what? If we do our jobs and win, then all the other distractions go by the wayside because it's all just noise and clutter. And I think that if the players kind of rally around this moment, and I think I kind of saw it on Friday when they were all hugging and kind of, once the finality of the game, once Gio took the final knee, it was more of like a sense of relief. I mean, I've like Belichick was smiling, the coaches were smiling, the kids were giving high fives, hugs, dancing, and they haven't had that feeling versus a Power 4 team. And so my mind was kind of, I kind of forgot about it, but this team has gone through a lot of, mental wear and tear and also physical. And so it was kind of a relief system for them. And you could tell coaches and players and everybody was really happy about this win. And I think from a player's perspective, you can use this to rally a team and say, hey, look, we got 4 more weeks left and we don't leave the state of North Carolina. And we play 3 in-state schools. Let's go win these things. Let's go win these games and go to a bowl game. And you got to turn on the gas, especially in November, because Adam, I had a coach tell me one time, they remember what you do in November. So that's really when football gets started is right now.
Bryn Renner is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, part of the Tar Heel football radio team. So I've talked about this regarding Bill. He's an NFL guy, and there's a learning curve for Bill. The football is not the thing. It's the college environment. It's the college athlete. It's different than guys who are, have families and putting food on the table for their kids. It's just a different element. And my wonder is, can Bill adapt to that mentality? So I don't know. You're around it more than I am, obviously, but do you think that he can grasp the emotion of what happened and kind of translate that to his players? Because you have to create that environment for college athletes to thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. And I think it's a ever-evolving type of situation for him because you said it right. The NFL is all about winning and whatever it takes to win, and they're grown men that really, I've always said this, like if the coaches didn't show up in the NFL, like the NFL would still play a game because those guys are professionals and they're going to show up and do their job. And in college, it's the opposite. It's a wave of emotions, and it's a high 18 to 22-year-old high volume of highs and lows during 4 quarters, and you have to manage that as a coach and relate to that during the week of practice. So you're almost more of a psychologist as a college coach because you're managing a wave of emotions from kids. And so I think once you break this down to in college football, you still are developing an athlete to become what you want them to be and to execute a skill. And the pros, that guy already has the skill set. He was a first-round draft pick. You just have to scheme it up so he's in the right position. And so it's more about schematics in the NFL, and it's more about developmental in college. And I think that takes a little bit to kind of adjust your mindset. And so, you could put a kid at, receiver and say, hey, go deep, and I'll throw it past you in the NFL. But in college, you got to give them the technique to do that. So I think there's just a different rewiring for a lot of the staff, not only Coach Belichick, that have been in the NFL. Because you got to remember, Matt Lombardi, Steve Lombardi, like they were all kind of coming from the NFL where it was more about schematics. And so if once he gets that, he's done a great job. And I think he doesn't get enough credit for the job he's done to get to this point because, they did just get hired less than a year ago. So there's a lot of different factors, but I think once they get the recruits and he kind of gets his players in there and plug and play, you kind of see what happened on Friday night as a microcosm that what can be possible for Carolina.
Yeah, maybe I should have asked the question this way, and I'm not suggesting that you didn't answer the question right. Bryn Renner is joining us because I think Bill's reality is if he was still coaching a pro team and they were struggling and we weren't sure if they were going to win a game and they won a game, he would just move on to the next game. But I'm not sure in this case that you could just ho-hum a win, any win, and then just focus on the next game. You will eventually get to the next game, but there had to be some level of celebration of what they just accomplished because I'm sure these guys wondered if they were ever going to see the result.
Yeah, that's a great point. I should have answered it that way because
no.
he did have
it was a terribly asked question, Bryn.
No. But I understand what you're saying now because there was a wave of emotions and the post game locker room. I walked past it after the game, and there was a boombox being played. There was Coach Belichick saying this is the first of many if we keep doing what we're doing, and that was kind of crazy to see from my point of view because it was just another game. But that's a great way to put it. This team has not seen that much success against a Power 4 opponent. So you're exactly right. And I think that wave of emotions I didn't even think about that. So it's a great point. So I think that this team in particular hasn't seen much, win column results. So I think that was a big time step in the right direction on Friday night.
Thank you very much for covering my bad question. With a great answer. All right, let me ask you this. Demon June, he looks different. Now, I mean, when you watch him, does he remind you of anybody? Because, the touchdown reception was essentially looked like it was supposed to be like a 4-yard gain, and it becomes a touchdown because nobody can tackle the guy. Does he remind you of anybody?
Yeah, and I think it's a combination of these players. And so, you remember Ryan Houston? He was a physical, back, and he was very, you could never tackle Ryan Houston. And then Anthony Elzey was another running back that we had when Butch was here, and he was more of a low to the ground, big big quad type guy, and really had a great burst after contact. And so it reminded me so much of both those guys, especially when he got into the open field and used his stiff arm. He's a strong kid, and he's only a freshman. So you have to remember that he's only 18 years old, and he was one of the last recruits that we took in this class. And so for him to do that, I mean, he had a 182-yard all-purpose, which is incredible. And he's been the catalyst, so it's been impressive to watch him play.
Yeah, we got to lean on him. And look, if they stay healthy, it's clear that they know who their playmakers are on both sides of the ball. And they are definitely putting those people in position to make plays. And this is where, and you talked about the schematics of it all, this is where Bill will do his best work, because there's maybe been nobody better ever at getting his best players in position. I mean, Andy Reid is there too, but getting his best players in position to make plays. This is what Bill specializes in.
Absolutely, and he's going to do a better job, as he gets more comfortable with the college system. So hopefully he can continue the positive momentum.
Bryn Renner, you are the best. I appreciate your time, my friend. We'll
You're
do
the
it.
man, Adam.
Oh, no, you are. I just know him. I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you very soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
You got it. Bryn Renner here on the Adam Gold Show. Here's the thing. Because I do wonder, and because I don't, we're not around it. We were watching World Series. I had the football game on my laptop, and because my wife's a baseball fan, we're watching World Series Game 6 Friday night. I'm going to talk about that in a second here. And for me, what I want for Bill, what I want for the program, and I thought this would be a close game. I thought they would have a chance to win. I think this past Friday night and this upcoming game against Stanford will be the two best chances. But because their defense is playing better, they could have chances in all of their remaining games. No joke. But my curiosity here is because pro and college football, and I'm not talking about the sport, the people who play it are in dramatically different places in their lives. You've got to be able to not just in a locker room celebrate. They do that in the NFL. We see it all the time. But really nurture the players to just enforce the things that they're doing led to this, and not just matter-of-factly move on to the next thing. Hopefully that's happened, because that goes a long way to creating the culture we're talking about, that if they can create that and have an environment where it becomes a family, not to compare it to what goes on at NC State, but that's the best part about that football program, then I think that's job one to getting Carolina where they want to be. Then it's about the personnel you recruit, the players, the quality of the player, which will allow you to, because the thing that Bill Belichick is the best at is coaching them up. But you can't get to that point until the other things are really in place. So maybe that stuff is growing. Or allow this as a possibility. Maybe Syracuse is just really bad at this point. The quarterback wasn't good. I mean, some of that is UNC's defense, but the quarterback was not good. And also, I kind of expected Fran Brown to realize that and run the ball. They didn't. Anyway, all right, let me just bring up World Series. I mean, we could talk about Game 6, and we will eventually. Elliot Johnson is going to join us in about half hour or so. But Saturday night in Game 7. I'm going to work backwards here because when we start in the 11th, I get my most angry. First of all, the Dodgers are awesome. awesome. They have a great team, incredible pitching. They have the best player on earth, the best player who's ever played baseball in Shohei Ohtani. And that was a series that if I'm the Blue Jays, and I am being honest, it's a series that I let get away. Even though you won games 4 and 5 in Los Angeles after losing an 18-inning game, which, by the way, they led late. But you let it get away. And it wasn't that you lost Game 6. Dodgers were the better team in Game 6. It's that you had Game 7 and you had chances in Game 7 to either extend the lead or, late, at least come back and tie it, and you blew it. So let me just explain where they really went bad. In the 11th inning, you get the leadoff double from your guy, Vladimir Guerrero. Double down the left field line. He's on second base. Nobody out. Now, in the 9th inning, Bo Bichette, who had been playing basically on one leg, can't really run, but is still an elite hitter and has had so many big hits, including the home run. And that home run, he styled on that home run that made it 3-0. But he had so many big hits. In the 9th inning, he got a base hit and you pinch ran for him. I understand why you pinch ran for him because he can't run. But don't pinch run for him until you have to. For instance, man on third, 1 out. Fly ball, you want him to be able to score. Man on second, 2 outs. You want him to be able to score from second on a single, right? Pinch running too soon cost you him. His spot right behind Vladimir Guerrero. So when Guerrero leads off the 11th with a double, you've got a really good defensive player, but not a really good hitter in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And so you do the worst possible thing. What is the worst possible thing, Victoria, in baseball?
I know you would say bunting.
Sacrifice bunting.
Yes.
I am okay with bunting if the bunt directly leads to a run, like a suicide squeeze, or if you are bunting for a base hit. I am not anti-bunting. I am anti-lighting an out on fire. You have 3 outs with which to score a run from second base to tie the game. Do not waste one of them by moving a player 90 feet closer to home. I don't care if you think, meaning you, the baseball fan out there, if you think that's smart baseball. It's not. It's scared baseball. And what do they say about scared money? It don't make money. Don't waste outs. You moved Guerrero up to third. They didn't intentionally walk Addison Barger, but they also weren't throwing him a strike since he has worn Dodger pitching out. They put him at first and brought to the plate the most likely double play guy in baseball, in Alejandro Kirk. He had plenty of big hits, but now with one swing of the bat, they are out of the inning and World Series champions. And don't you know that's what happened? Don't waste outs. If that didn't drive home my point that I have been trying to drive home for, I don't know how, 15 years, 20 years, however long it has occurred to me how stupid it is. I coached Little League for a while, like 6 years total, before I moved here and then after I moved here. Not once, 0 times did I have a Little Leaguer bunt. It's actually a better play in the lower levels of baseball because nobody can field. Even in college baseball, it makes more sense because nobody's good enough. Big leaguers, they can field. Don't waste the out. I didn't even get to the other innings. In the 9th inning, they had an opportunity to, in a tie game, right? Oh, that's the other thing. In the 9th inning, it was tied. You're not behind. You don't have to pinch run for Bo Bichette, but they did. Anyway, I got a ton of things to talk about with Elliot Johnson. I was just so angry. I texted to John Manuel. I did. I was texting with John in this during Game 6 on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And when Kiner Falefa laid the bunt down, and I knew they were going to bunt.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. I could feel it.
Yeah.
I texted John, and I said, if they don't score here, ...
Mm-hmm.
He knew.
Does John feel the same? Have the same passion?
Not quite.
Oh.
Not quite the way I am.
Yeah.
Not quite. I am admittedly more militant than most people. But I can't be like on an island to think that was horrendous baseball on the part of the Blue Jays. It's just scared. The truth is that the longer the game goes, who's the better team? Who's got better personnel? The Dodgers do.
Mm-hmm.
The longer the game goes, the more likely they win.
Yeah.
It's like Manny Diaz's decision to go for 2.
Right. You got to be gutsy. Meanwhile, if you have any ice cream recommendations, our YouTube stream is like full of them now. I love this. Yeah.
All right, good. We can talk about that later. All right, when we come back, we'll stretch and we'll place bets next.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Scams increase during the Medicare open enrollment period, so stay alert. Never give your Medicare, Social Security, credit card, or bank account numbers to anyone who contacts you unexpectedly and claims to be from Medicare. Your caller ID may show Medicare's name or phone, but caller ID can be spoofed. Just hang up. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
When people put their feet under a table, it means more than just consuming food. Getting the restaurant back open, that meant to the community a lot of normalcy. The public health department checked the wells so that we knew where we could get water that was able to be used.
And it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Your background may not include agriculture, but 2 years at the Agricultural Institute will prepare you for a career in it. Whether you are a military veteran with an arsenal of skills, kickstarting your second career, or about to graduate high school, the Agricultural Institute at NC State University is the right place for you. Nurture your passion and find your career. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Gold. Gold.
Turtle cake? Like, what are we... What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? Because, hello, confetti cake, delicious. With the little, I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like...
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like, that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. Elliot Johnson, our favorite former big leaguer, will join us next hour to talk about the World Series and the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, and he'll either tell me I'm an idiot or he'll agree with me about the bunting hole thing. Never mind. Let's stretch.
All right, well, we kicked off a new month, so people who have to write dates down don't put 10 anymore. It's 11.
Right.
Also, we kicked off a new time, which I'm still feeling. How am I tired? We gained an hour.
Oh, I was exhausted.
I'm so confused.
I was ready to go to bed at 8:30.
Yes. I don't know what that's all about, but in case you haven't changed that microwave or your stove or whatever, because mine doesn't do it by itself, you got to change it because we have an hour. So yep. Now it's officially dark right now. No, just kidding. At 5.
Close.
Yeah. So there's that. Also, in sports this month, well, we've already had the World Series, so we know who won that, but new NBA season is just getting started, and MLS playoffs are underway. Also, there's some movies out and about if people are into going to see those. Wicked for Good comes out the 21st. I know a lot of Wicked fans. Zootopia for the children's or children's at heart. I don't know. Zootopia 2 comes out. And then also we've got things like The Running Man and then Stranger Things. I know this is like Stranger Things has a cult following, basically. Its 5th and final season will be on Netflix the 26th. So there's that. And then also, I know we like to talk about this, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony will be November 8th. So you can stream that on Disney Plus if you have that, and also CMA Awards if people still watch award shows. And then last but not least, we got a couple holidays this month. We have Veterans Day the 11th, and then Thanksgiving the 27th. Don't forget about the bird. The bird needs respect too.
The bird?
The bird. Everyone just wants to skip to Christmas.
Right.
You gotta give the bird respect. I like the parade. Any excuse to eat way more than we need to and have leftovers for a while, I'm here for.
Yeah, leftovers the best part of it.
Yes, exactly. It's always good to be grateful, too. Just like I'm grateful for nailing these bets last week.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
My son is officially mad at me.
Why?
Because I didn't actually place any of the bets that I said.
Dude.
And it would have been like an epic weekend.
I went 3 for 3, didn't he? And I only put real money on one. It was the Norma Dumont by the points. But Steve Garcia by knockout would have come through. And then just taking the Broncos, they were plus 110.
Yeah.
Did not put anything on that one. So.
All right, I'm going to rectify that today. Of course, I'll go over.
Exactly. Well, we'll see. Maybe
you go
not.
First.
Maybe not. So today we have football. Cardinals in Dallas taking on the Cowboys. So you know what? Give me CeeDee Lamb to be an anytime touchdown scorer. He's plus 100. So why not?
All right, that's an easy one. I'll give you my anytime touchdown score. Dak Prescott tonight plus 700.
Wow.
To score a touchdown in the game tonight.
Okay. I'm going to say that the Cowboys will win at home today.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the under because it's 53.5.
Yeah.
So that's plus 195.
Cowboys might get that by themselves.
Yeah.
Dallas -3 and over 53.5 is plus 200.
And you got time for one more.
I do have time for one more. There is the final Premier League match of the week, of match week. This is match week 10. Sunderland at the Stadium of Light will beat Everton, and both teams will score.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Bieber working up the first base side of the rubber, fires. And a 2-0 is hit high and deep in the air. Left field, turning and looking is strong. That one is gone! Into the bullpen. A towering homer to left for Will Smith. And here in the 11th, the Dodgers have a 5-4 advantage. And Smith slaps 5 with Dino Ebel at third. Comes across, steps on the plate, and high fives Freddie Freeman. The Dodgers have the lead.
Man, Will Smith came through with 2 big home runs in the series.
Yeah, and didn't they say, I remember watching and they had said something like he had not hit a home run since September or something like that.
Before the first home run he hit, and I forget, I think it was game 2 when he hit the home run, he had just singles in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Like no extra base hits at all in the postseason.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So
you never know.
Yeah, we'll talk about the series with Elliot Johnson coming up. It's 2 things run through my head about the World Series. First of all, and I realized that I could make it all about bunting. The fact remains is that Toronto in this series was not the Toronto that was essentially the best team in baseball at hitting in situations like 2 outs, runners in scoring position, men on base, all of these things that Toronto was great at during the regular season, they weren't as good at during the World Series. A lot of that has to do with the fact that it's the World Series and the other team has unbelievable pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think John Smoltz said it during the game last night or Saturday night that he has a hard time imagining a better starting rotation than the one the Dodgers put out there. Whether it's Snell or Yamamoto or Glasnow or Ohtani, who was the Dodgers' 4th starter.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't pitch well Saturday night, by the way.
And they put Yamamoto back out there. Quick turnaround.
On 0 days rest.
Nope.
0. I also saw the fact that, and I don't think Japan has to play in these preliminaries, but there's like group stage World Baseball Classic games that are going to start soon. He'd be there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fresh.
That dude is amazing. Why can he do that? Conditioning. He has trained his body to be able to do that. And while he didn't have great command, he had good enough command, and the stuff was good. He had good movement. He didn't have great, he was a little wild. As Ohtani was as well, you saw a lot of 3-ball counts. Anyway, part of it is the Major League Baseball mindset of trying to protect, trying to preserve for next year. Even though with all the protecting of pitchers, everybody seems to still get hurt.
Yeah.
I think the protecting isn't really working. I'm just going to guess.
Throwing that out there.
So, anyway, it's a great World Series. One of the best World Series I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, through all the I hate bunting, which I do, and I'm not wrong, but I don't want to lose sight of the fact that we saw, in my memory, I can't recall a World Series that had great performances, drama just about in every game. And there were a couple. The Dodgers won, the Blue Jays won Game 4 comfortably, and the Dodgers won Game 2 comfortably. And even though the Blue Jays won game one comfortably, it was the fact that the Blue Jays won game one that was so good. Anyway, we'll talk about it with Elliot Johnson coming up in just a little bit. Right now, it's Wall of Sound time.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's start with the head coach of your Carolina Panthers, who surprised a lot of people. But wait, why did the Panthers take the ball first? I thought everybody defers to the second half. We'll defer our decision to the second half. But they wanted the ball because they knew that they would get to choose the wind direction in the second half. Here's Dave Canales.
I can give Tracy Smith a little shout out. You know, our MO is to just kick the ball and start on defense. That's the way we like to play it. But, you know, Tracy said if we take the ball, you know, we got a chance to end the game with the wind to our backs. And it played out exactly like he talked about. And so we made that decision, and it worked out for us, you know, counting on Ryan to make those kicks, you know. The extra point right there, you know, after the penalty, we could have, you know, tried a 2-point conversion from the 17-yard line or something like that. And I just didn't want to feel like we were disorganized. Let's give them a shot. And really the wind wasn't going for a second, and all of a sudden it kicks right back in, you know, right around the kick. And so the timing of it. But for him to be able to regroup, refocus, and just go to the next kick was amazing.
All right, so talk to me about the win, Dave.
I just kept thinking about with the group, every game is a championship opportunity. And especially when you come here to this place with the fans, with an excellent team, it was going to require the best of our football. And yes, there are things that we need to improve upon. You know, we certainly, you know, gave up some opportunities in some spots, but to continue to play football, that's the way it should be done, is you just keep coming out with toughness, keep finding the run game, the balance of the pass, defensively, 1 for 5 in the red zone, unbelievable, to give us a chance to be in that game and walk off with a kick.
Yeah, 1 for 5 in the red zone. It was fumble, field goal, and then the fourth trip, which is where I thought Matt LaFleur blew it. They turned it over on downs because they went for it on 4th and 8 from like the 10 or the 12-yard line. Just kick the field goal. I realize it's not putting you in the lead and you still need a touchdown, but at least when you scored that touchdown, you'd be in the lead, theoretically. Plus, it protects you against the Panthers kicking a field goal and making it a 10-point game.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
You could tell it was super windy because it only took like 28 attempts for them to hold the ball. So
I know,
Green
right?
Bay could kick
Exactly.
punt it off.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, now to the game of the day, at least in terms of the two teams involved, the Chiefs and the Bills in Buffalo. For the 5th straight time, I believe, Josh Allen and the Bills beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. What does it mean, Josh Allen?
They're the pinnacle of what you want your franchise to be. They've been that for the last 8 years. You know, anytime you get a chance to play, you know, the best and you can come away with a victory, you're going to be feeling pretty good. You know, there's a lot to be happy about, but like I alluded to earlier this week, it's never as good, never as bad as you think. So got some stuff to clean up. We'll watch this one tomorrow and get rid of it.
All right, so like I said a second ago, they have now won 5 in a row, dating back to 21. And in every year they have met in the playoffs, the Chiefs have won. So I am here to tell you that what happened yesterday doesn't matter.
No.
And it may matter in terms of where the game is played, but it's going to be cold no matter where you're playing it.
Exactly.
Kansas City's cold. Buffalo's cold. Different types of cold. One is a heavier cold than you get in Kansas City. The Kansas City cold might hurt more.
Yeah.
Right?
One might have more Tay-Tay fans, Swifties, but that's about it.
That is true. But look, that game, the fact that it was only a 7-point game, to me, sort of is bad for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, you dominated the line of scrimmage. How is that only a 7-point game?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot more than that.
It's just the way what's going feels like this game is more of a blowout, and meanwhile, Kansas City's got the ball at the end with a chance. All right, Dave Doran. You went into the game without Justin Jolie, your tight end, without Hollywood Smothers, your running back, and arguably the best running back in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and nobody cared.
Well, we don't allow that, first of all. Kids come to this program like they do any program with the hope to have an opportunity to play. And when it's your opportunity, you have to seize it. And Tristan Teasdale, true freshman, starting in his first game against that offense, and really proud of him. I mean, that's asking a lot. And our DBs, man, I mean, we played a lot of man-to-man in that game, and for a lot of reasons, but it says a lot about all these guys. And it's funny to me that people think we're going to quit and we're going to do this. We don't do that here. It's not a part of this program, and it never will be. And so each kid that gets an opportunity, it's his moment. And it's fun to see him seize those moments in a game like this.
Look, it was fun. You had, Duke Scott spelling Hollywood smoothie or holiday smoothie.
Yes.
You had him go for almost 200 yards. So good for great win for State. Great win for the program. Good win for Dave Dorn. All of that. And now it puts Georgia Tech into the mix. They've got 2 conference games left. They got to win them both, which they probably will. And if they do that, they have a great chance to be in the conference championship game. But right now, there's only one unbeaten ACC team, and that's Virginia. We all saw that coming. All of us. All right, let's break. Elliot Johnson on the other side. We will talk World Series, the quality of it, the performance of not only Shohei Ohtani, actually, more than that, Yamamoto, who pitched brilliantly in Game 6, even though the Blue Jays wore him down. And then he came back and pitched brilliantly in Game 7.
Like it was nothing.
He threw 90-some-odd pitches in Game 6, 6 innings, and then came back and pitched Game 7. Elliot Johnson joins us next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan, the ACC, the SEC. The biggest matchups will be found here.
Scott sprints 20, Duke Scott 10, touchdown! Deal sealer, Duke Scott! NC State's going to upset 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, and Carter Finley loses its mind.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary, and pour one out for Gordon and me because our football team from Detroit lost. How do we lose at home? We're so good. I am disappointed. I'm depressed. Here's how I'll feel better. Knowing that I've never paid closing costs at Miller Lending. I have saved about $50,000 in my life. I've not worried about timing. I've not worried about mortgage rates. I have simply gotten my mortgage without paying closing costs and had the freedom to refinance free of charge when the rates come down. Last time I refinanced, I saved over $300 a month on my mortgage. Glorious. Meanwhile, other people paid closing costs, thought they got this fancy-dancy rate, and guess what? They wasted that money because the rates went down. They wanted to refinance again in like a year. You've wasted money. Don't waste money. Go to Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
YouTube TV customers get the sports you love on ESPN back, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Act now. Go to keepmynetworks.com to get ESPN back.
The next disaster is coming. The time to get ready is now. Make a plan. Identify meetup locations and people you'll need to contact. Put your contact list in your wallet, on your phone, and somewhere visible in your home. Build a kit. Store enough food and water for 3 days. Don't forget your pets. And consider buying a pre-made kit. Keep at least 7 days of medication on hand. Work with your pharmacist and insurance company to secure the extra doses. Make copies of important documents. Keep them on your phone, in the cloud, or on a USB stick. Stay informed. Learn about local hazards. Take courses in CPR and first aid. And sign up for local alert systems. An early warning can give you the time you need to prepare for a fast-moving disaster. Be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Person in front of me in line had a box of wine.
Oh, yeah. I feel that person. If you're buying boxed wine on a Friday, that thing is open right now.
In the car.
Yeah. I don't even need it to cool down.
She jammed a big straw right through the top of the box
yeah.
in the
Went
car.
to the gas station to get a cup of ice. Like, they don't even care.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam. I'm Adam Gold, a little choked up. Excuse me.
You're just really excited for Elliot.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Always, because we get to talk baseball. And here's what I want. I want people to be as bummed when the last college football game ends every year. People weep. I don't have college football now for like 9 months. We get that.
Yeah, that's how they sound, too.
And I don't begrudge that.
Yeah, no.
That World Series was so good.
Fantastic.
We don't get baseball now till April. Actually, late March. Elliot Johnson, my favorite former big leaguer, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Before I complain about bunting, sacrifice bunting, because I'm not anti-bunting. Can you remember a better World Series than what we saw?
2019, the Nationals beat the Astros comes to mind.
Well, you just hate the Astros, so anytime the Astros lose would be automatic in your world.
Well, yeah, Howie Kendrick hitting that ball off the right field pole, unbelievable, man. Joe Carter in '93,
right?
That's I don't know if you can ever really top that one, just because of the walk-off off of Wild Thing Mitch Williams. But there were some. That was a great one, Adam. I'm really surprised because the Blue Jays, after Bichette hit that home run, I was like, oh my goodness, they had so much momentum.
Yep.
Dave got out there right away and pulled him and said, hey, we got to move on to the next guy. And I would argue almost that the hitting Jimenez, Robleski hit him, drilled him.
Yeah.
That kind of rejuvenated them to a degree, because he wasn't trying to, you're not trying to give them a base in the World Series. It's Game 7. We're not here to prove a point.
That was the dumbest thing.
Yeah, but he smokes Jimenez, and he's been a great player for them.
Yeah,
he deserves a lot of credit. In fairness to him, he did get almost drilled twice.
The pitch before,
third time was a charm. But that almost kind of brought back a little bit of energy to the Dodgers. But it was overall, Adam, and the ratings were off the charts. I think more people were watching the World Series in Game 7 than some of these other large sporting events. Baseball is definitely not dead, and in some ways, it's getting even better.
Look, we saw great stuff. Yeah, I didn't understand why Jimenez would think that somebody was throwing at him in Game 7 of the World Series. Like, that just, you've got to be smarter than that. It just doesn't compute. Trey Savage came on. I mean, there's a ton of things I want to get to. He had such a great postseason. Didn't have his great stuff in Game 1. Did have great stuff in Game 5, and that was epic. We talked to Cliff Godwin at East Carolina after that. And then came out, and like, he did give up the home run to Max Muncy on the hanger that made it 4-3. I do wonder if he doesn't give up that home run, do you think he finishes the game? It was 1 out in the 8th. He got the next guy out before they came and got him.
I think Schneider just saw that the stuff wasn't there, Adam. So I think if his stuff was like it was in Game 5, then yeah. I mean, it didn't surprise me because he was so good. I mean, you could argue that he was probably, outside of Vlad, he was potentially their MVP. I mean, he was the reason why they were even there, Adam. So he's got a lot to be proud of. He hung a splitter. Muncy is a professional hitter. Dives all the time, saw it early out of the hand. He left it way up, and I mean that ended up being a huge home run, obviously.
Oh, massive! It to go from 2 runs down to everybody that comes to the plate is the tying run. The way the Dodgers, and that's their game, right? To slug, that's their game. It's not like the Blue Jays, who can play more small ball, and this is what I want to get to. Over the course of the regular season, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, by the way, were also great at this, but the Blue Jays were the best team in the American League. 2 outs and runners in scoring position, man on third with less than 2 out. In the World Series, they weren't. In the World Series, they weren't good in either situation. I don't know how they left like 17 runners on base, I think, in Game 7, which makes me even more angry at the decision to lay down the sacrifice punt in the 11th, regardless. But doesn't that speak to the Dodger pitching, that you were great at this until you weren't?
So this is where the rubber kind of meets the road between the front office nerds and in the dugout. Okay, so like the statistics prove out that over a season, and I'd recommend people actually check the and read Moneyball, the book, not just watch the movie, but read the book.
Yes.
Okay. Statistically speaking, over 162, you're going to score more runs with a man on first, nobody out, rather than 1 out, man on second. I mean, it is verifiably proven using math. Okay. But in the World Series, you're only trying to win tonight. Okay. So you've got a couple of complications. You've got a really good pitcher. You have a guy that may not have a ton of confidence in, and so you're like, look, I'd rather us get a guy in scoring position and move on with our day rather than run the risk of double play or a punch out with a man on first and 1 out, which statistically you're going to score less than a man on second, 1 out. So that I don't fault him for that. I think everybody's going to play this he said, she said thing. I get it. It's kind of the nature of where we're at. And the reason why we're talking about it, Adam, it's so great because you think about it. The Blue Jays are 1 play away from having a ring and winning the World Series versus the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I mean, that's what's great about it is we get to discuss these things and talk about it. What could, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Ultimately, I don't fault the man for doing it. I understand it. I appreciate that.
Because Guerrero was already on second base. So he was already in scoring position.
I understand.
That's why.
I understand, but at the same point, what we're trying to do, I understand what he's doing. I understand. Yeah, I mean, everyone has a problem with it, Adam, and I like that we're having this conversation because it's really strategy, and really, you know what the determining factor is, Adam, of whether or not we talk about it. All that matters is whether or not it works. That's the only thing. Because if it works, we don't talk about it. If it doesn't work, then now we have scrutiny. It is what it is.
Believe me, if it had worked, I'd hear about it. Because everybody in the world knows my disdain for lighting outs on fire. Elliot Johnson is joining us here. The real problem was 2 innings earlier when he pinch ran for Bo Bichette after the single. Like, I get it. He can't move. We saw them need 4 hits to score a run, earlier in the game, or they didn't score because he could not move. He could only go station to station. So he pinch ran for him with nobody out, and I believe it was it was a 1-out single by Bichette. So he pinch ran for him. He's at first. Maybe what he should have done was waited until he had to pinch run for Bo Bichette because you had the lead, or I know that the game was tied at the time, and you need his bat. And if you don't, there's no guarantee you score a run no matter who you put. You could put the Flash in to run for him, and there's no guarantee you're going to score that run. So you eliminated the bat. And there's no way on this earth that Bo Bichette sacrifices Vladimir Guerrero to third. So the one mistake that I thought led to the next mistake that I thought.
It's a good point. You have a valid point because, he's not going to be bunting. He's not. There's no chance.
Right.
I mean, he had the think about when I was watching that first AB or the second AB against Shohei when he hit that first pitch slider 450 feet to center.
Yes.
I mean, Bichette was just imagine the moment in time when Jose Bautista hit that home run and did the bat toss thing. Imagine that was his Bautista moment, right?
Yep.
And he was savoring it. He's like, man, we're going to the promised land. Okay. When he was walking to first, and I was like, man, this is amazing. He was savoring it. He just took, the best player in the world probably.
Yep.
And he just took him 450 feet to straightaway center field on a first pitch slider, even though he's kind of hanging and he probably shouldn't even be in the lineup. He still did it. There were so many things going on there, Adam. And I was like, this is so much fun. But you're right. If he was up there, Vladdy's already on second. He doesn't need to bunt him over, but if Falefa's up there, I mean, I probably don't blame Schneider for asking him to bunt. And again, we're talking about it because it didn't work. So here we are.
Oh, I'd be talking about it anyway. But that's fine. Look, and I agree with you that we're talking about this. We're talking strategy because this World Series gave us so many moments of it. There were some games that I'm not going to say we're non-competitive because there were, I think the Blue Jays kind of cruised to a Game 1 win. But the fact that the Blue Jays won Game 1 made it dramatic. The Dodgers stormed back Game 2. Game 3 was ridiculous in how great it was. Went 18 innings. The extra innings part was probably the worst part of that game. But every batter there's tension. Were you awake for all 18 innings of Game 3?
I watched that whole game, yeah.
My gosh. I was not. As an old person, I could not handle it. I just get back to how amazing. There were opportunities for the Blue Jays, even in Game 6, down 2 runs in the 9th inning. They got second and third and nobody out. And Ernie Clement, who was otherwise amazing, just got a little anxious. Jumped at the first pitch, not a good pitch to hit, although obviously a ton of movement, and the pop-up I think that might have taken some wind out of Toronto's sails.
Sure. I mean, in fairness to Ernie, he did set a record for hits in a postseason. He Randy Arozarena for the Rays in 2020 had 29. He was unbelievable. I can still remember that run he did. And I can promise you McCullers from Houston is still losing sleep over that home run he gave up to him in San Diego. Anyway, and it feels weird saying that. COVID was a different time. But
right.
Clement, 30 hits in a single postseason, just set a record. Ernie Clement, we're talking about Ernie Clement here, not Vladdy, not Dante Bichette.
Right.
And if you can name what college he went to
Virginia.
now, Adam, there we go. Given the ACC some love. So,
right.
I mean, he deserves a lot of credit. He couldn't come through in every count. But, I mean, who would you rather have, Ernie Clement or Mookie Betts in this particular World Series?
100%. I was convinced that Clement was going to get the hit that was going to tie the game in Game 6. And when he hit that ball to left center field deep, which turned Kike Hernandez around in knots, I mean, that's an incredible play by Paez to make that catch. That was like a wide receiver going up, absorbing the contact, and still scoring the touchdown.
Yeah, thank goodness he was put into the game. Because when it's so loud right there, you just have to take control, and so I'm glad he did. Kike's not a big guy. He's famous for standing on top of a bucket doing a post-game interview. So I mean that actually worked out pretty well. The unsung hero, Adam, is Rojas. Not only that home run against Hoffman, which, is the biggest swing of his life, but the play at second, I mean, and I'm still young enough, I guess you could call it, to have played against him. And he wasn't a great offensive guy. You didn't really worry about him, but he was a magician with the glove. Now, he's not very fleet of foot, as you could tell by that play. It kind of took a lot of body control for him to make that play and still get home on time. But those two plays were some of the biggest plays in the entire series. And if he didn't make either of them, the Dodgers don't win. So think about that, how deep that roster is, that Miguel Rojas, we're talking about him as it pertains to winning a World Series. Remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, fielding the ball wasn't, it got on him quickly, but fielding the ball wasn't as difficult as just him setting himself to throw. He lost his balance, but we saw some great defense. Like, I thought the Jays, and I think I put this on Twitter, I know that. I thought the Jays were going to win the series because of their defense. Vladimir Guerrero made two of the better first plays you'll see a first baseman make just in Game 7. The diving catch of the line drive just outside the bag, and then the 3-6-3. People don't understand how hard that throw is for a right-handed first baseman to make that accurate throw. And then, did he get back to the base, or I think it was he got back to the base, not the pitcher. It's just a tremendous play.
And then Varsho with that diving play in center. I mean, I was like, look, if he doesn't make that play, that's a lonely place to be, because you got to get up, go run after it while you're looking for a hole to crawl into. There's a merry-go-round going on behind you, and then you've got to grab it, throw it in, and hopefully make sure that the guy doesn't get all the way through. I think Teoscar hit that ball.
Yeah,
that would have been basically game over. But credit to him for having the instincts to go get it. The guy's an incredible athlete.
Yeah, and earlier in the series, Teoscar made the same decision incorrectly, trying to come in and catch a ball that bounced in front of him. I think it bounced like 8-10 feet in front of him, and it goes by him for a triple, right? So, not an error, but a mistake.
A misplay.
Yeah, so, and the Varsho diving catch and the diving catch of I guess it was a foul ball that Guerrero made were on back-to-back plays. It was just a tremendous game.
Vladdy had a play in LA where he had to throw a guy out at third. He just cut it loose, and I think Clement scooped it even. So there's a lot of those things at play where that's not an easy play to make a scoop on a ball like that.
He was tremendous. All right, final thing. Yamamoto going 6 innings on Friday night, and I thought the Jays did a great job of making him throw more pitches and wearing him down, and then coming back and pitching, closing it out basically. And pitching on 0 days rest. So people ask me, how was he able to do that? And I just said conditioning. Like, I think it proves that you can do it, and that modern baseball just doesn't allow players to do it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, a couple things. One, he's already got his contract in hand, Adam. Okay, so let's make sure we mention that, okay?
Right.
Because Nick Anderson was absolutely abused by the Rays in 2020, and I don't know if he's been back in the big leagues since then.
Sure.
So his arm unfortunately fell off, and he has nothing to show for it outside of an AL championship ring, which nothing to sneeze at. Don't get me wrong, but Yamamoto still got hundreds of millions coming to him. He's the MVP. He earned it. He got all the praise and credibility from his teammates. They've got a great training staff, and I'm sure he was on plenty of pain meds and other anti-inflammatories to make sure he was available to go. And really, Adam, the same thing. The reason why it's worthwhile is because they won. If they didn't, then there's somebody's got some splaining to do next year if his arm falls off. But because they won, just like Strasburg, if you win, then there's an argument to be made that it was all worth it. But the further you get removed, the less it seems so. But I would say for right now, obviously, them being on top of the world, it was worthwhile.
Who would have been the MVP had Jeff Hoffman not given up the home run to Rojas and they closed it out?
Vladdy. Yeah, it would have been Vladdy,
not
Savage,
Ernie?
But probably. Well, no, Vladdy.
Okay.
Vladdy's OPS. So all time, I think he's second in extra base hits all time for a single postseason. Like his OPS is unbelievable. So it would have gone to Vladdy. It would have been more of a feel good. He's a star rather than giving it to Ernie.
I hope they re-sign Bo Bichette. I'd like to see that team stay somewhat intact. That was a fun team to watch. They put the ball in play. Unfortunately, it ended on a double play. But, man, it was dynamite. Elliot Johnson, I appreciate your time. Even though you didn't, fully back my absolute, utter disgust at a sacrifice bunt in the 11th inning of Game 7. That's okay.
All it matters is whether or not it worked. I understand. I get it, Adam. But, let's talk some baseball here when we get closer to the winter meetings and the hot stove starts.
Let's do it.
Tipsy.
All right. We will hot stove. Elliot, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Elliot Johnson here on the Adam Gold Show. I'm not sure he was all that into me bitching about a sacrifice bunt. All right, when we come back, we'll talk Panthers. Will Brinson will weigh in? Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoots, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, home for all of your favorite things to do, especially when it comes to the NFL. And tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% profit boost token so you can boost your take on the Cowboys and the Cardinals. And frankly, you can't go wrong either way. Or maybe you can't go right either way. Who knows? It's the same. Make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. All customers. 30% profit boost token this Monday night. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
As a school nurse, I feel like we're really that contact for the schools between the Department of Public Health and what goes on in the school system.
The face of the Department of Public Health in our school is our nurse, Nurse Emma. All the communication that she was receiving and direction she was receiving, she made sure to communicate with us and be a wonderful partner with us.
These kids need their routines.
NC Public Health. Everywhere, every day, everyone.
From the food we eat to the clothes we wear, agriculture touches every corner of our daily lives. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. With the world's population growing, we need people equipped and trained to meet the needs of our future. In our program, we rise to meet that challenge every day, and our students are engaged and invested. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's what.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. We're going to get back to the Panthers in a second. Will Brinson will join us. Real quick, Panthers. Hurricanes practiced today before going to New York, flying to New York for their game against the Rangers. Played Saturday afternoon in Boston, came back after the game Saturday evening, and spent Saturday night and Sunday and Monday before flying up to New York. So get a little family time, all that stuff.
What an upside-down world that the Panthers are winning and the Canes are losing.
Well, I mean, the Canes are still 7-4.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So,
lost a game.
Yeah,
Panthers won.
Well, that's true. On the same weekend.
That is a rarity these days.
There's a lot of people that are upset with the fact that the Hurricanes are 7-4. I don't think that we could overlook the fact that Carolina is dealing with some significant injuries on the back end. Look, they were lucky that Seth Jarvis was able to play. And Seth played pretty well on Saturday against Boston. After leaving the game on Thursday night in the win over the Islanders after blocking a shot late, I think most of us went, oh, well, he's gone for a while because of the nature of how it all looked and the fact that Rod Brindamore said after the game that it doesn't look good. So we were thinking we're going to be without Seth for weeks, if not months. So all's good. Jarvis is, as much as you could be fine, he's fine and played well. But Carolina's offense, in spite of the fact that going into the game against Boston, they led the NHL in goals per game. That will come as a surprise to people. But before the game, 3.9 goals per game led the NHL. Shocking. And right now, they're tied for third in goals per game. Yet, if we're being honest, and I like to be honest, Carolina's offense has not looked good. I know the power play is bad, but it's not about the power play. It's about their 5-on-5 offense. And the underlying numbers tell us that Carolina's attack isn't what it was last year, the year before that. They're not generating the volume of chances they normally do. And they're not generating the percentage of those chances that they normally do. And I've watched them enough to know that this is, if not the biggest problem, a big enough problem for it to have a major impact. You don't have Slavin, you don't have Miller, you don't have Gostisbehere. And while Legault and Nystrom and Riley have all played well, those three players right now are in for Slavin, Miller, Gostisbehere. And when Carolina's got their full complement on defense, they control the game better and they play their way better. And when those guys come back, whenever that is, I fully anticipate Carolina getting back to playing their brand of hockey, which we have not seen. It's been okay. And right now, okay has been good enough to go 7-4-0. But it's not great. Rod Brindamore changed a bunch of lines around in practice today. We saw that in the third period in Boston. So here's what the lines were today, and then we will talk Panthers with Will Brinson. You had Aho centering Hall and Svechnikov. Interesting. Stankoven centering Blake and Ehlers. okay. Stahl centering Martinook and Jarvis. And then the fourth line stayed the same. It was Kotkaniemi, Jankowski, and Bradley Nadeau. Blue line stayed the same. It was Nikishin and Walker. Best thing going over the last 3 games, even though Carolina's lost 2 of them, is Alexander Nikishin's playing more and more and getting more comfortable with more responsibility. I don't think that will change when everybody's healthy. I think he'll go back to being where he was with Shane Gostisbehere, but I think what it will allow Rod Brindamore to do is balance out the ice time. And I think you'll see Nikishin continue to play more, but primarily he'll play with Gostisbehere. But it'll be Nikishin and Walker. It'll be Chatfield and Nystrom. It'll be Riley and Legault. But in general, the top 4, Riley, Chatfield, Nikishin, and Walker will play most of the time. That's what I believe will happen. All right, now to the Carolina Panthers. And a great win. You win 16-13, a walk-off field goal at Lambeau Field against a team as good as the Packers, which I do believe was contributed to by Green Bay, but credit to the Panthers for making Green Bay lose or allowing them to lose. And I asked Will Brinson for an overview of what he saw.
Man, I you watching that game? And,
I did.
I mean, I watched it, but it wasn't one. It wasn't an enjoyable game. It was entertaining in the sense of the Panthers pulled off easily. Probably the biggest upset of the season, or one of the 2 or 3 biggest upsets of the season. The other probably being the Packers losing to the Browns. Rico Dowdle was awesome. I think Dave Canales made a mistake the last couple of weeks trying to do the 2-back system. Like, Rico Dowdle is running wild every week. Just ride him, and if he cools down, then you blend Chuba Hubbard in, as necessary. I think they did a better job getting back to Rico Dowdle. They didn't really hold Josh Jacobs down a ton, but Jordan Love was pretty bad, and generally, the Packers just didn't. For the second time this year, against a wildly inferior opponent, the Packers didn't look like they were enthusiastic about playing that football game. Yeah. And they just look slow. I don't think they're a very trustworthy team. And this is exactly the type of game Carolina wanted to have against Green Bay. Yeah. Like, Packers start slow on offense, run the ball effectively, keep it low scoring, hang around and get weird and make a long field goal at the end to steal the game. I mean, that's kind of the recipe for Carolina going into Green Bay against this Packers team.
Here's what I was thinking about as I'm watching this game. And maybe it's because I'm old, but I remember when the Giants played the Bills in the Super Bowl, it was the first Bills Super Bowl in that 4-year run. And they played the Giants, and it was the wrong team for the Buffalo to play, because all the Giants wanted to do in that game was to slow it down, run the ball, slow it down, and frustrate Buffalo.
And let Chapel Hill's own Bill Belichick coordinate the defense.
Right. That is right. And before we get out of here, I'll just make this quick comment. Ejiro Evero's rallying of his coaching career based on turning this defense, which honestly ain't dramatically better in terms of personnel than last year's defense, except for Derek Brown being healthy.
The defense played really well yesterday.
Green Bay averaged 50 yards a drive, so it was they played well when they had to play well.
Yeah. They kept him out of the they kept him out of the end zone. I mean, that's that matters. Look, I think Carolina, they're probably. I mean, they're probably not a playoff team, but they're not that far out.
Right,
of it.
But that's the thing, is that the NFL will fool you. I mean, because of schedules and whatnot, the NFL will fool you. And they beat the Saints on Sunday. They're 6-4.
Yeah.
With another game against the Saints and another game against the Falcons, albeit in Atlanta, but so what? Falcons can beat themselves. They've already proven that.
Sure.
So, it's not out of it. They're not out of it. They could still win 9, maybe even 10 games. I don't think they're getting to your 11 that you predicted at the beginning of the season.
I said the high upside was 11. Hey, by the way, but I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm right by any stretch of the imagination, because 2 weeks in, I was like, I'm so wrong. It's not funny.
Right.
4 weeks in, I was like, this team stinks.
Yeah.
But the thing about the NFL is if everything breaks your way, and we're talking about like going to Green Bay and stealing a game, you hold on to beat the Jets, you beat the Cowboys at home. They have on their schedule, 3 tough games against the NFC West.
Yes.
Right. If they win one of those, I think that's good work. But the divisional games that are remaining, they're not going to be touchdown dogs to any of, like, even on the road at Atlanta or at Tampa Bay. I don't think they'd be touchdown dogs. And Tampa could have clinched a division and be locked into a seed and rest players in week 18 at Tampa Bay. So, like, yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to win all those divisional games. You got to steal one of the NFC West games and then, go 3-2 in your remaining divisional games. And that gets you to 4-3, and then all of a sudden you're 9-7, and like hanging around the wild card picture and just hope things go your way.
You'd need a lot to go your way, and you need to win basically every available, potential win. But I didn't think Green Bay was a potential win either. So here's what I think happened to Green Bay, and it happens in all sports, is that you get anxious. You're better, and I think this is what happened to Green Bay. You're better, and you want to prove that you're better, but you're not willing to take the little bits that are given to you. And I thought Green Bay got obviously their trips to the red zone, their first 3 netted them a fumble. That's unfortunate. Happens. And then 2 field goals after that. And then the last time they got into the red zone, they did miss a field goal, but they didn't get in the red zone there. Then the last time they got in the red zone was early in the fourth quarter. And for the life of me on 4th and 8, I don't know why they just didn't take the 3 points. You got an entire quarter of football left. You're going to get at least 1, probably 2 more possessions. And
No, I was going to say, if you have 369 yards to 265, 5.9 yards per play to 4.9 yards per play, you should probably win that game, like, I don't know, 65, 70% of the time. The glaring thing, and you just said it, 1 of 5 in the red zone. Yeah. If you go 1 of 5 in the red zone, you're not going to win. Not going to win. It's just hard to win because you won't score many points. Panthers, by the way, 5.5 point favorites against the Saints on Sunday. Did you think that we would get to week 10 of the NFL, Will, and it's possible that the Panthers would be a survivor pool selection? No, which is crazy. By the way, I will be interested. I don't know if you watched any. You probably didn't watch much of it because it was on at the same time as the Bills and Chiefs game. But the Saints and Rams game, we had the Rams in Survivor. Yeah. Shout out to Esprit de Corps. But the that was the Hobag pick. Was the Rams? Yeah. The Saints. Kellen Moore has, and we were talking about the Jets. It's like just run read option. Kellen Moore's doing that thing that we've talked about with the Jets the last 5 weeks. He's putting Taysom Hill out there. He's running junk offense. Yeah. So Panthers, be wary on Sunday. Panthers fans, be wary on Sunday. You're going to see some junk offense from the Saints. Yep. Who are going to put out Taysom Hill. They're going to put like Devin Neal in the backfield. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly. Right. Panthers just need to be efficient on offense and win the game. They can beat the Saints. I don't know if it's going to be the survivor pool pick though for us.
Oh no?
No.
You're thinking otherwise?
Well, it doesn't, because it's a division game.
Yeah.
It's the second rule.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they're tricky.
We're here. We're headed to week 10. So that's Circa Sports Survivor Pool for $18.7 million. There were 2,057 remaining entries heading into this past week. 264 exited with the Packers. Rams were the biggest selection. Chargers were next. 15 exited with the Lions. There are 8 people who have the Cowboys tonight. Jaguars came back and won. Bears came back and won, remarkably. 49ers won on the road. Texans lost. Somebody's out with them. Seattle won. Only one person had Seattle and Washington. That's a risky play. Although it's certainly, in retrospect, not very risky. By the way, without getting into why was he in the game, an absolute shame that Jaden Daniels is hurt. Absolute shame.
Yeah.
Players who are fun to watch. Yeah, there's an element of why was he still in the game? He wanted to play, I'm sure, because that's what players do. But it's just sad. It's awful that a player like that now is out for the rest of the year.
Poor Commanders fans. I mean, they were feeling good last year, and then this happens.
Yeah, I mean, he's missed some time with injuries, but they're also not the same team. And Will pointed out later in that discussion that they really went all in on this season. It's going to be, we'll see what their road back is. Victoria, thank you very much. Tomorrow on the program, the former governor, Hurricanes fan, Roy Cooper. We're talking hockey with Roy Cooper tomorrow. Bye.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and here we are, Monday Night Football, Cardinals in Dallas, and FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% profit boost token for tonight's game. Do you know what Kyler Murray has never done in his entire football career? High school, college, he has never lost at Jerry World, ever. They are +1.